Guys, if I say I don't feel for you, Leduchi, I lie. Honestly, with all these debts that is hanging around his head, he has now faced reality. I mean, the realization that he has lost everything. You know, after 20 years of marriage, he had nothing to his name except that his old used car that he kept on using. What do you expect of such a person? When a person who thrives on a superior self-image feels backed into a legal or social corner, then he often double down to the public rants, or he try to regain control of the narrative, especially someone like you who is dependent on public opinion and perception. You know, at the beginning of all this whole saga, he thought Queen May was going to give in and then accept polygamy. Now, because she refused, it came to him as a shock, and she stood her ground. You know, she stood for her business too. People say he chose Judy, but the truth is, he had no other choice. Queen May had already removed herself from the equation, and that alone vexed him. So anything he does, he's working so hard to pepper her. Anything he can do to frustrate her enemy, he was really ready to do. You know, when two people become bonded to a common enemy, whatever one person tells the other, that's what they'll believe and act on. Queen May at that time was all they discussed when they woke up in the morning and before going to bed. But before I continue, I welcome you once again to my channel. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the comments. For my returning subscribers, I especially thank you. And for those of you that are yet to subscribe, kindly hit the subscribe button so you get notified whenever I make my posts. Alright, please come closer for this gist, my people. The story long, and you know, you Leduchi, every morning and night before going to bed and while he wakes up, Queen May was always what he was talking about with Judy. And then Queen May became a common enemy for Yul and Judy. At that point, even without spiritual manipulation, anything Judy tells Yul, he will accept and believe it, because he was angry at Queen May. It was easy for Judy to tell him, oh, the arrow she sent to buy you and I had returned to the sender to buy her son. At that point, due to desperation and anger, Yul accepted and believed Judy's lies and manipulation, forgetting that his son was his as well. You know, we can both agree that Yul has been acting desperate since Queen May said no to him. The desperation significantly blurs the mind and leads to irrational behavior by shifting his brain focus from long-term logic to immediate survival. My people, the survival mood has triggered his desperation. You know, the desperation now had led him to do several things. That's why you see him venturing into all kinds of business just for him to make two ends meet, because the success of Queen May is so alarming that they deaf the guy. Now the desperation, you can feel the desperation like an overdrive switch that cannot be turned off, and all of the recent rants and fighting with his parents and siblings is just the reason. At this point, he cannot turn his back on Judy because he's seeking social media validation. It is as if it is already late for him to turn his back, but he doesn't know he's even doing himself more harm than good. So right now, it only just became clear to you that he has lost everything. He keep blaming it. He blames his family for not helping him cajole or deceive Queen May to remain in the disrespectful marriage. Now he has lost Queen May, who was the anchor of their marriage and his ATM. Yes, Queen May was his ATM. Now, due to his damaged reputation and debt everywhere, no friend or contact will raise their finances on him, and his family are not left out. His parents and siblings have seen how reckless he is. How would you want to invest your money in a sinking ship, my people? How? I heard he only had 145 votes in his last election, which means even the village didn't vote for him. That was shameful. To the spiritual side of the thing, I believe Judy introduced Yul to diabolism. Yes, especially during the period they ran for office. From that point on, they both put their hands on things they cannot confess to anyone. Yes, since then, I also believe that behind Judy's back, Yul has gone ahead to continue in this diabolic path on his own. Hence his claims of being a traditionalist and all other nonsense he has been displaying on social media, which it's not even giving any positive impact. And you know, my people, and whatever Judy does at the back, Yul does his own too separately. So Juju can cancel Juju. Hey, if the things we read and hear on the internet are to be believed, I once came across a video where it was alleged that elders of Edochie family stepped out in a bid to find solution to Yul's problem. From their outing, they were told that only a few confession can set Yul free. Yes, he exhibits fear when it comes to confession and deliverance. That means there's some element of truth in the video I watched. Now let me ask you, Now that Queen May has never come out to say anything, you and Judy I have not confessed, and yet the world hates them this much. You know, all this public hatred comes from their behaviors, which people witness online. My people, tell me, what do you think will happen if you and Judy confess? Yeah, I personally think that the world will instantly cancel the both of them permanently. In fact, their life might even be at risk. I doubt that they will ever get forgiveness from the public. So instead of confessing, so he can be free, he doubles down to the madness to avoid the shame of the truth. You cannot turn back because the reality of his actions are too much to bear. Now you see the reason for all this ranting online and all the show off Judy has been doing. You see, she has really dropped it to showing one corner of the house, and at this point in time, it is becoming more dangerous for the two of them. My people, if you have comments to this, kindly drop your comment at the comment section and I'll be waiting to reply. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for watching my videos. Please see you in my next post. Bye.